Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, I'm just out here looking out the window at my backyard, and boy, is it raining. How's it raining over there for you, bud?
And you say you're looking at your backyard or your back river?
Yeah, back rivers. I haven't seen it flooded like this, and I can't remember how long, years.
I'm enjoying it.
Lord knows we needed a drought buster, and this was it. I mean, the ditches are completely full. My backyard is almost underwater. My front yard, a good bit of it's underwater, and it won't last long. It drains off, but I know that we need to
green up the grass a little bit.
I mowed yesterday, and it was like a patch here, a patch there. The rest was that golden, crispy brown.
You just wait.
Yeah, but I needed to kind of clean it up a little bit, and so I'm glad I did it. But anyway, so today we're going to talk about the past couple months and the election we just went through, and some thoughts about all of this, and where we're heading as a community on these elections and politics, and what we need to do about it. Really, it's not just a matter of we could complain about these people or that people, but what we need to do about it as responsible citizens, about what we need to do about this situation with our politics and the disincentives that are being placed out there to serve in either an elective or appointed capacity. It's been pretty rough, as we all seen, and it's been unpleasant. And I'm not gonna just point fingers, say it's their fault or this person's fault or where else. I think we know who the players are, but also I'm going to give my opinion as to why it's gotten to this way, and what's happening, what the real goal of some of these people are. And it's not civic duty. It's not, in my opinion, it's not civic service. This is just my opinion, of course, but there you are. But anyway, I'm going to run all the ads at the beginning because I think that's it'll do better. This may be a shorter show. Hill College and DBU schedule start this week, and so we're going to be doing some alternative times tomorrow. In fact, because of the scheduling issues, we're going to have our show at 1:30. Taylor, apparently you're going to be busy doing all these other multimedia things, and I
appreciate your flexibility.
It's all right. We're going to be, but from now on this semester, we'll be doing it at noon on Tuesdays because of my DBU schedule. Anyway, I don't have the Facebook link yet, son. It just popped right up. See, I thought it, you did it. That's what I'm saying here.
Yep.
And as of course,
Elon Musk Neuralink.
Why don't? Yeah, Elon Musk. He's a fine man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really. I like him. I mean, I kid you about it because it's because he's got all this money and he's got all this stuff going on and he's becoming a rock star and things of that nature. So I just kind of kid about him, but there you are. Let's go ahead and run the ads though, so we could go ahead and all right, starting off with Daniel, CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. Hope you're staying dry at least. And it's a good place to work out. Out of the rain, out of all the mess, whatever else. So go ahead and go check out the webpage, see what the programs are, what the training is, all the above. It's a good place to work out. It's close, convenient, safe, clean, all those things. And Daniel and his crew run a really good shop over there. So if you're looking for a workout, CrossFit Burleson is a place to do it. Also, Shandy, we're going to have her on Thursday. We're going to talk about, among other things, her trip to Scotland, which I'm very envious of, but also what's going on with real estate and the markets and rates and things of that nature. So look forward to seeing Shandy on Thursday, our old friend. And if you're looking to move into this area, you need to talk to her. If you have a friend that's moving into this area, you need to talk to her because a lot of these houses are going before they even hit the market. So you need somebody with an inside scoop. So talk to Shandy. Also check out our 817life.com page for what's going on in this area. Thank you to Rex. I just saw a message by Rex. Apparently it's raining cats and dogs, he said. They said they're canceling homeschool. It's so much weather. Anyway, myfinancialbox.com. Hit the link. Get to know him. Have some coffee. He'll help you with your 401ks, your 403bs, all the other alphabet investments, all the above. So Russell Wealth Group, myfinancialbox.com. He'll come to you and talk and have a good visit, and he'll help you out with your investments. Also, thank you to Gayla Moores. I saw her yesterday at church. She's a very sweet woman, and she has really nice jewelry. When I have guests on, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, I've been there. My wife been there," or I need grandma's ring fixed, that's the person to go to. And I know it's just late August, but apparently Walmart and Sam's about to put out their Christmas stuff. So if you're thinking if that far ahead of time, you might want to look at the Southern Gem and some jewelry and maybe get that ring fixed or buy a new ring. So Southern Gem, top of the Windmiller Building, they're going to be beginning their process of moving in a couple of months down to the bottom floor of the Windmiller Building. So they're going to be expanding even more so. Thank you, Gayla. Also, Michelle Linfrey, another indoor workout facility of a different kind, infrared workout. They have 11 different workouts, 11 different programs, yoga, biking, rowing, aerobics, you name it, they got it. It's all in infrared, so it maximizes your workout without all the stress on your body. So it's a good workout. It's a safe, clean environment. It's secure. You need a code or to be let in, so it's not like you have to worry about any of those things. So it's a good place to go on 731, right across the street from all those healthcare clinics that are popping up, right next to Chicken Salad Chick. Also, thank you to Mandy, Creative Concepts. She's the one to talk to if you want promotional items. She's the one if you want pins, hats, cups, whatever, she can do for you. She made this hat. She made a bunch of my cups, which are becoming collector's items very, very quickly. Creative Concepts by Mandy over at 1187. So check out her webpage and she can help you out to promote your business. Also, of course, Otto. Who doesn't love Otto? I was just there last week. He's doing great work for the community and for the Burleson area in general. And he's also provides a great breakfast and lunch at a great price at a great service. I really like the fact when I go in there, I recognize a lot of the same staff. He has a lot of people that work for him for a long time, and that says a lot about a business owner, particularly in the restaurant business. So, Otto, thank you for your service. Thank you to Chris for your service. Also, a nice place to go do business for Chris. He has a conference room. He has a patio if you want to sit outside and watch it rain and have a cigar and drink. It's a good place to do it. It's over on the Standard. Right next to Doughboy Donuts. I like that name. Wild Cigar and Culture. So you can go and have a decent smoke and a decent drink and have a conversation. You actually can hear yourself think because it's not blasting away, at high volume. It's very low key jazz and that kind of stuff. So it's a good place to do business for a happy hour or after work or something along those lines. Thank you to Tiffany. The big day's coming this Saturday. Local Life Magazine. Many of y'all know Tiffany's getting married to Big Jimmy Nico, at the Pathway this week, and it's going to be great. I'm really happy for her. She's a very sweet woman, and she's a great business person. If you're looking to advertise in this area, the two best places to advertise are here and on Local Life. I advertise in Local Life. She advertises here. What does that tell you? Okay, anyway, Local Life TX is up right now. So if you want to check out the webpage, but the new issue will be out in about 10 days or so, because wedding or no wedding, she's going to get that thing taken care of. All righty. Oh, by the way, we're going to have a couple new sponsors. I'll probably introduce them on Thursday, but I'm still working getting the logos. But yes, we have 2 new sponsors coming on. So things are going well here. Let's talk about the politics and whatnot on the race results. Now, most of y'all who follow this show and follow the results online know the results. And they were fairly emphatic in favor of Sean Miner, which I'm glad. Okay, I'm glad that in a school board race, which normally gets very little attention, got nearly 2,000 votes. Now that in comparison to the number of voters that are eligible to vote in this town, that may seem like a sad commentary, and it is in its own way. But that kind of normally in these school board races, even when you have competition between two people, it's not quite that level. But it was this time. And I'm really glad that the vote results were more than 3-1 in favor of Sean, because I think not only was it indicative of what people think of Sean Miner, but I think it's also indicative of what they thought of this whole campaign. Sean Miner deserved to win, in my opinion, because of his quality of his service. But I also had a great deal of trepidation about the way the opponent campaign was being run and what was being said about the school districts and its personnel, what was said about Mr. Miner, what was said about the supporters of Mr. Miner. And what I'm afraid of is that this has become the norm in the last 2 or 3 elections in Burleson. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Burleson, I've been here 30 years more. It's not Mayberry. It isn't like Andy Griffith's show. Sometimes you've had campaigns where a few elbows are thrown. Ronnie Johnson could tell you that. He's been elected many, many times, and not every race was a walkover. Some people were critical. He understands that. He understands that's part of it. But one of the biggest differences is that most of the criticisms or most of the conflict was dealt on policy and programs, not on personalities. It's like the families were left out of it. Not anymore. Not anymore. And private citizens are usually left out of it, but not anymore. And that's the problem. What I'm seeing right now is that we have more and more of these campaigns being run. And I will say this, it's usually by one particular side of the argument, so to speak, that have put in a level of animosity and contentiousness that didn't exist in most other elections. Now, like I said, I've been here a long time, and if I would go back in my memory, I could think of this election or that election that where it got kind of tough, it got kind of intense, and maybe a bit personal. But the reason they stand out in my memory is because that was not the norm. This has become the norm. This has become the way that certain factors in this community think that campaigns have to be run. With snide remarks, snarky comments, trashing the institutions that they're trying to lead, trashing the people that have been sitting there, volunteering their time, and not complaining about the cost it is to them personally, financial or otherwise. That's the problem, is that we have groups now, a small group, a very small group, but a very vocal, active finance group that are saying things about people that have been serving in these capacities for a long time. And they want to trash these very institutions that they claim to want to represent. That was my real problem with the Reid campaign. I don't know Nona Reid personally. I don't recognize her unless she came up and smacked me in the jaw, which she may want to do one day. I don't know her personally. I had nothing about her personal life, and I don't care to. She may be a saint or whatever, and I don't, but that's fine. I don't want to know, and I'm not entitled to know. I'm not entitled to know what's going on in her life, and neither is any other voter. But that being said, the whole campaign was trashing BISD, trashing Dr. Jimerson, trashing Sean Miner, talking about how she was cheated and robbed. And why would anybody, even if they don't know what the players in this drama, why would anybody want to vote for that? Yes, our districts and our cities always are in need of vigilant supervision and reform. Okay. As long as these institutions are run by human beings, we're going to have mistakes made, the wrong decisions made. But I'll tell you this, we are lucky as a community that for the most part on both the board and both the city council, we have people that are interested genuinely in what is good for the students or the citizens of this community. I can't say that about some of the people that have run and won races the last 2-3 years. Now, you can fill in the names of whoever you want. I'm not getting down that path. I'm just saying that we may disagree with Ronnie Johnson, but nobody with an iota of decency would ever claim anything other than that Ronnie is a patriot and a citizen that this community should be thankful for his service. Same thing with other board members, same thing with other city council members that have proven their worth. But what we're getting now is this element that they don't care about that. They just want prominence, position, deference. The last 2-3 elections has been a contest not of competing programs and policies, but of competing personalities and motivations. That's the real problem. What are their motivations? And when people say, I'm here for the community, we'll know by your conduct. We'll know by how you conduct yourself on city council or on school board business. We'll know by the way you ran your campaign. We'll know by the way you took questions and answered those questions. I for the life of me, I don't understand how any campaign can be run where you don't answer questions. The Reid campaign basically shut down any opportunity to ask her questions because they didn't want to answer them. It's not about the issues. Now, yes, okay, I'll grant that maybe not everybody that was going to ask her a question was going to do that in the most polite way possible. Welcome to politics. Okay? Most people that voted for Sean Miner wanted to know certain things from Ms. Reid, and they never could get any of the answers other than I was robbed or I was treated badly. And that Dr. Jimerson is basically lighting cigars with $100 bills as he drives around in his chauffeured Cadillac. Or the fact that the most ludicrous accusations, the CRT, supposedly critical race theory that's being taught in our schools. I promise you, not 1 in 100 people know what CRT means in reality. Certainly very few of the voters do, and not because they're stupid, because they don't care. It's because it's a crock, and they know it. CRT is a crock. We don't teach CRT. And if anybody thinks we do, define it for me, show me examples of it. CRT is this idea that everything is based in our history and our culture based on a foundation of racism, and that there's an entitlement to the non-white community that it exceeds anything that we can give, basically. And that anything you want to talk about, history or whatnot, nothing is untainted by racism. That's not true. Now, if you're going to teach American history, you're going to teach about some of the less appealing aspects of history, because not everybody has the same story. That's not the same thing as CRT. They also would say that certain expectations in education, this is what CRT also teaches, that certain expectations in education, like punctuality, timeliness, proper grammar, turning your homework on time, attention in class, are white constructs that basically are indicative of more racist attitudes. That the idea that a math answer has an answer is a white construct, and that's total crap. And most African Americans I know think so too. Very few black people believe in CRT. They know it's a crock. But the point is, that was thrown out there as something that was being taught in our districts with no evidence and no proof whatsoever. And people hear CRT because they heard it on the TV or on the radio, and they go, my God, we're teaching CRT, whatever that is. We can't do it. And then now, so here we have a deal where the CRT and all these other ideas are being taught in our schools without any evidence whatsoever. Oh, I see Mr. Perez joined in. Thanks for listening, sir. Now, as far as the way this campaign was conducted, for the life of me, if somebody could tell me what she was for, I would have liked to have known that. But that's not what these campaigns are about. That's not what any of these campaigns are about anymore. They're about what is it going to do for me? And they will say things about the incumbents that are verified and untrue. And they're going to say things about policies and programs that have no evidence to support what they're saying. Now, here's what I think is really the case. We have had a small group in the last 2 or 3 years that have gotten together and they said they want to be where the center of action for our community. They want to be where it is. They want to be where all the decisions are being made behind the scenes. And they want to, it's not so much they want, to have policies in place that they think are better for the community, is they want relevance. And that's the same thing that drives a lot of these Facebook stalkers, is they want relevance. For me to shame any of these guys that are on Facebook is a waste of time, because they relish the fact that they're what they do. They enjoy the fact that they stalk other people's pages, like Sarah Carlson's page or this one, and throw out these comments. They relish the fact that they make a controversial statement and people react to it because it gives them relevance. In an otherwise life that I can only imagine lacks any other relevance. They want prominence. They want deference. They want to walk into a place and say, that's so-and-so. And then they want people to think, whether it's true or not, that if you want things done, they're going to be the avenue to get it done. If you want to be elected, if you want to get policies enacted or started, you want some sort of consideration from the council or the school board, they want you to think that they're the avenue to do it from. That's what this is all about. It has nothing to do with policies. I didn't see a single policy from Ms. Reed. I didn't see a single policy from a couple other candidates that have run lately. It was basically, I'm not that person, so therefore vote for me. And then when it's over, And then when it's over, then we'll say we were cheated, we were robbed. The school board bribed the teachers. That they were paid $100 to vote for Sean Miner. That money was going to go to supplies, but that's irrelevant. That basically the school district tried to do everything they can to keep Miss Reed off the ballot, even though it was instigated by the fact that she misfiled the ballot or the application. They're I saw the Facebook posts that were very prevalent Saturday night that basically that BISD was intimidating voters. They were threatening the teachers. They had people there at the voting booth to try to intimidate other voters. All this is total rubbish, but it doesn't matter. And so that's what's going on here. But again, I want to go back to this point. It's not about policies. It's not about you. It's not about your children. It's about their quest for relevance and prominence. They've tried to take over the Chamber of Commerce. That failed. So far, they failed with the school board. They have city council meetings have become a circus every other week because of a couple of members instigating comments that get their supporters riled up. We can't have a city council meeting that's not some sort of spectacle. And so my point with all of this is that when we have these elections in the spring, God help us, because we have 4 city council spots, including the mayor, up for election, either re-election or replacement, and 2 school board seats up for re-election or replacement, whichever they decide to do. And I don't even know what to think about this. I already know that there are plans for the spring. Why? Because I read the Post. This is just the beginning. Actually, it's not the beginning. It's a continuation. As we speak, there are plans for May. And it's not going to be based on civic duties. It's going to be based on the intrusion of partisan politics into our campaigns. I'll tell you that much. That's another side. That's another thing that's happened. We know more or less how this person, that person votes for president. Who cares? But right now, we have one side in particular that's bringing in the Republican Party into our politics. That's inappropriate. Not just inappropriate, it's wrong. Because there's a reason why the state of Texas mandates that city and school board elections be nonpartisan, to prevent this very thing from happening. But it's happening all the time now. And it's happening here, where parties are getting involved in these campaigns. And the Republican Party very much was involved in this particular campaign, and I have no doubt it will be in the future campaign, because it was the last time. We had Alan West coming by, we had Sid Miller coming by, and even if they never said I am with the Republican Party, nobody's fooled. Let's not treat us like we're stupid. But this is what's happening, and what's the impact of this? And this is an impact that they want to have happen. Lower turnout at votes, and fewer is a better word, fewer people that are willing to serve, because they don't want to go through the trash. I've talked to several people about running in the city council, which I cannot for various reasons. I don't live in the city, is the biggest one. But I talked to people about, hey, you got to run for city council. You make a good council member. And they say, I don't want to have my reputation slandered on Facebook. And the fact is that they know that would happen. We have evidence of that, absolutely. And the people that do that would do so with relish and with a high degree of enthusiasm is a pitiful statement about them. But these people who want to serve our community don't want to put their families through that. They don't want to go and have to go through this gauntlet of being elected to serve us for $5 a meeting on the city council, or for $0 on the school board, just to have everything they've ever thought about trashed on Facebook, or every mistake they've ever made in their life relitigated and accused of. I've made mistakes in my life that I don't want to relitigate on the air. No, everybody has. I bet there's not a person here that'd say, well, every decision and every act I've ever done, I'm glad or I support what I did, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's flawed. Everybody's human. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not looking for angels. I'm looking for just somebody willing to serve that I could trust to be putting my interest and the interest of the community ahead of their own. I'm not looking for somebody that's perfect. 10 years ago, who knows, what somebody did that may or may not reflect who they are now. But they don't want to get on there and have somebody dig it up or accuse them falsely and then say, I'm just exercising my First Amendment, or I'm a journalist, or some other crap like that. They don't want to do that. They don't want their families to have to endure that. I admire Sean Miner for running, because he put himself out there again for this, and knowing that this was going to happen. Same thing with anybody that's going to run for re-election in May or for election. They know what they're about to endure, and that other side is going to say, here it comes, and they're going to enjoy what they're doing, because this is what gives them relevance in their lives. Same thing with people who just want to serve in volunteer capacities. The Parks and Rec Board, the Library Board, all these different boards, they want to serve, but they don't want to go through some grilling. And we've seen it happen. They go, don't tell me this doesn't happen. I've seen it. We've all seen it, where somebody who wants to serve is basically questioned about why. And then they're like, well, to hell with this. I don't have to do this. And they go back about their business. And again, this is not the conduct of the majority of our board members or council members, but none of the board members, as far as I could tell. But this is the element that they have to deal with. This is these Facebook snots that want to trash people and say mean things and call people hypocrites, I guess, is what I'm seeing here. And that's fine for me, because I asked to do this. I mean, I put myself out here, and if this gentleman wants to call me a hypocrite, that's free speech. I don't care. I like myself well enough to cover the both of us. But for somebody who wants to serve in one capacity or another, they don't deserve this. And we got to think really hard about this, Bertelson. We have to really stand against this. We have to really stand against this, because we can't afford to have private citizens slandered or businesses boycotted or have business owners called nasty names, apparently, and still think that people are going to be willing to serve after seeing that. Somebody sees this on Facebook. They said, I might want to serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission, or I might want to serve on the Parks Board, but do I really want to have to go there with my hat in my hand and say, please let me serve. May I serve? That's the whole thing. That's where I'm getting back to this, to kind of sum it up. This small group wants to be the group you go to with your hat in your hand and say, may I please run, and please don't be mean to me. Please don't go after my family, and don't think they don't. Ask Sarah Carlson. Her family's been slandered on this on the Facebook forum as well. So is Ann Rose. So don't tell me that doesn't happen. And certainly the Facebook postings don't. Marty, you want to call me a hypocrite? Get after it. Because I consider myself out here publicly, and bring it on. But when that side of your argument starts talking about private citizens who don't have this capacity to speak up and speak back, that's just shameful. So we got to think really hard, Burleson. We got the real turning point coming up in the spring, and I don't say this lightly. It's going to be a real pivotal point. A majority of the city council will be decided in May, and a large segment of the school board will be decided in May. We got to make sure we have the right candidates, the right people, the right motivations. That doesn't mean they have all the same ideas we do. We don't need to have a candidate. We don't have to have a candidate that we agree with 100% on every policy and issue. But we do need to agree on one thing: is that man or woman that's willing to serve has the best interests at heart, and it has no other agenda but the city or the schools. And it's not looking to be part of some cabal that wants to run the city from behind the scenes. I'm encouraged by the election. I'm encouraged that it was such an outpouring of support for Mr. Minor. We need more, though, because when we get an election of this magnitude coming up, there's going to be, I would going to guess, at least twice as many votes. So you're going to need more votes than what Sean got to win. So, yeah, I said it'd be a bit shorter show, and it's fine because I got to get ready for school. I got to check to see if my cars have floated away, whatever else. But let me summarize it this way. My calling people out on Facebook that say what you're doing is terrible and hateful to people isn't going to change them one iota because they enjoy it. Somebody noticed me. Somebody referred to my spot or my post. Somebody acknowledged that I existed. And they figured the best way to do that is to say mean things about anybody you want to talk about. So, sorry. So they're not going to change because this is the only thing they got. But we have to do better in the sense that we're going to have to support each other in greater numbers. We're going to have to make sure that our community and the school district knows what's at stake in the coming months. And when we have candidates that run, again, don't be looking for perfection and don't be looking for 100% unanimous agreement with them. Just look for people that have got decent moral character and are willing to serve and willing to put the interest of the others in front of their own. We got to make sure that we hold the line this May because they're not going anywhere. Again, this is their lifeline to prominence and to relevance. We got to hold the line. So, that being said, I hope you pass this along. It's like I said, I already went through the sponsors at the beginning, and I wanted to be able to say this in one solid piece. Pass this to your friends. I'm sure there'll be some responses on Burleson Resident Talking, which I'm barred from because they don't really care for free speech over there. I'm sure I'll be called nasty names, and that's all good. So much for free speech. But think about this hard, Burleson, in the coming months when we see this again. When we see how these campaigns are being run, when they put stuff out there that is inflammatory, but they won't allow for comments. They put accusations of candidates or the institutions they care to run and don't respond to questions. And also, I guess your homework assignment is if you yourself cannot serve, and there's a lot of people who can't serve because they have children, they have jobs, they can't afford not to be at their jobs. I get said, once you run for school board, the truth of the matter is I can't do both and do podcasts and school board, and I need the money. I pay my car payments with this gig. So I'm not going to try to run for election and belly about how much it's costing me if I win. So anyway, look for people that are willing to run. Support the people that are there. Even if you don't agree with their decision, support them. Support, even if you don't agree with, okay, they voted A, I wish they'd voted B, but understand that most of the people we got that are in these positions are doing the best they can with the information they have. And they mean well. So anyway, thank you to the sponsors for allowing me this time to vent. Like I said, I hope you all pass this along to your friends. Thank you, Ronnie, for your service. You've done a lot more to this community than I ever have, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your other respondents. And we'll see y'all tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to be with a friend of mine named Greg Williams from Schoolie Mitchell. We're going to talk about how to more efficiently run your business. Maybe y'all could save some money by tuning in tomorrow afternoon, 1:30 in the studio. I'll see y'all then.